You ever play a game that's just way better than people give it credit for? That's what we're talking about today. Hey everyone, it's Nick, and we've got some absolute gems to show you in this one. 15 underappreciated games you absolutely need to play. Now, usually when I think of From Software, it's Dark Souls and Elden Ring, right? Well, Armored Core 6 proves they can make an insanely good mech game too. This game isn't just about giant robots. It's about fast, strategic combat, deep customization, and some of the most precise movement controls in any game, period. Piloting a mech in this game feels incredible, and the way you can tweak your build to suit your playstyle is ridiculously fun. But what really seals the deal is the boss fights. As always, FromSoft put their signature touch on these encounters, making them intense, cinematic, and absolutely brutal. It didn't get the same hype as FromSoft's other games, but trust me, it's so worth playing, especially if you want something different from your usual action RPGs. Next up, we've got Sleeping Dogs. In short, it's basically GTA meets Hong Kong action movies, but it absolutely nails that feeling. The hand-to-hand combat is excellent, with a satisfying martial arts system that makes fights feel weighty and cinematic. The driving is fast and arcadey, and the city of Hong Kong is one of the most atmospheric open worlds in gaming. What really sets Sleeping Dogs apart, though, is its story. It's a gripping undercover cop thriller that actually makes you care about the characters. It's a crime game, sure, but it's also a story about loyalty, identity, and the cost of living a double life. It's one of the best open-world crime games ever, but it never got the sequels or recognition it deserved. Play it, and you'll see why fans won't shut up about it. If you like psychological horror, The Medium delivers a super unique dual reality mechanic where you play in two worlds at once. This isn't just a gimmick, it's integral to the gameplay, letting you solve puzzles and uncover secrets in ways no other horror game does. The story is eerie, the visuals are stunning, and it's got that classic Silent Hill style atmosphere. Speaking of Silent Hill, Akira Yamaoka, yep, the composer behind Silent Hill, worked on the soundtrack. And it absolutely adds to the creepy, unsettling vibe. It's a slow burn, but it sticks with you long after the credits roll, making it a must-play for horror fans.
What was that?
Imagine if Dark Souls and Ninja Gaiden had a baby. That's Nioh 2. The combat here is on another level. You've got multiple stances to master, an insane variety of weapons, and a loot system that keeps you constantly experimenting with new builds. It takes the Souls-like formula and cranks everything up, making combat faster, deadlier, and way more technical. But it's not just about the action. Nioh 2 also leans heavily into Japanese mythology, with terrifying yokai enemies and a story that, while a bit convoluted, is packed with cool historical influences. It's one of the best action RPGs out there, but somehow, it still flies under the radar compared to other Souls-likes. If you love a challenge and want a combat system that rewards precision and mastery, Nioh 2 is a must-play. You ever play a game where the atmosphere just gets under your skin? That's Alone in the Dark in a nutshell. This is a full-blown reimagining of the 1992 classic, and it's got that Southern Gothic horror vibe that makes it feel like a slow-burn psychological thriller. The setting? A creepy-as-hell mansion filled with secrets, weird cult-like horror, and things that probably shouldn't exist in reality. The real hook here is how it blends exploration, puzzle-solving, and combat while making you feel like you're never truly safe. And with David Harbour and Jodie Comer lending their voices, yeah, the performances add a whole new level of immersion. If you're into creepy atmospheres, cosmic horror, and that old-school survival horror tension, this one's absolutely worth checking out.
Go get him, Tommy!
Next is hands down one of the best remakes in gaming. Mafia Definitive Edition doesn't just slap on a fresh coat of paint, it rebuilds everything from the ground up while keeping the original game's story intact. And man, that story? It's a Godfather-style crime drama with actual emotional weight. Set in the 1930s, you play as Tommy Angelo, a cab driver who gets pulled into the Mafia life. And let's just say, things go south fast. The gunplay and driving are modernized, the world feels alive with period-accurate details, and the cinematic cutscenes make it feel like a high-budget HBO series. If you love crime stories and open-world games with focused storytelling, Mafia Definitive Edition is a must-play. This is one of those games that people slept on hard, and it's a crime. Prey is basically a what-if Bioshock but in space situation, and it absolutely delivers. You're stuck on a space station overrun with these weird, shape-shifting aliens called the Typhon, and nothing is safe, not even the coffee cups. The real magic here is in the gameplay. Arcane Studios went all in on player freedom. You can upgrade your character with wild alien abilities, turn into objects, and approach situations in dozens of different ways. It's tense, it's atmospheric, and it constantly keeps you on your toes. If you're a fan of immersive sims, deep sci-fi storytelling, and games that make you think, Prey is an absolute must-play.
Much has changed during my absence.
This one? Super underrated. It's an RPG with a deep, dark, supernatural twist, set in 1905 Warsaw, a setting you don't see in games often. You play as Thaumaturge, someone who can see and control these creepy supernatural beings called saluters. Think of it like detective work meets occult mysticism. And yeah, it's as cool as it sounds. The game's all about tough choices, turn-based combat, and narrative depth. The story is engaging, the world is thick with history and atmosphere, and the supernatural elements are actually unsettling. If you like RPGs with unique settings, deep storytelling, and that eerie supernatural feel, the Thaumaturge is absolutely worth your time. Next, we've got Hellblade: Senua Sacrifice. This game isn't just good, it's an experience. Ninja Theory went all in on creating something that feels deeply personal while still being a cinematic, action-heavy adventure. You play as Senua, a Celtic warrior struggling with psychosis as she ventures into what feels like literal hell to save the soul of her lover. The real genius here? The way the game portrays mental illness. The sound design alone is insane. Voices whisper in your ears, the world distorts, and reality itself seems to break. It's one of those games that sticks with you long after you finish it. If you haven't played Hellblade yet, you owe it to yourself to check it out. Just wear headphones, trust me.
Last couple of days?
Why?
At launch, Days Gone had a bit of a rough start, but if you skipped it, you missed out on one of the most underrated open-world games of the last decade. This is basically Sons of Anarchy meets The Walking Dead. And yeah, that combo works. You play as Deacon St. John, a biker trying to survive in a world overrun by not zombies, freakers, because calling them zombies would be too easy, I guess. The open world is packed with things to do. The horde mechanics are straight up terrifying, and honestly, the story gets a lot better as it goes on. It's got its flaws, but if you're into open world survival games with big emotional payoffs, this one is absolutely worth a second look. Alright, now we've got Elite Dangerous. I'm not sure if this one's a game or a full-blown space simulation. If you want to actually feel like a spaceship pilot, Elite Dangerous is one of the best ways to do it. You start with a basic ship, a little bit of cash, and absolute freedom. You could be a trader, a bounty hunter, an explorer, whatever you want. The galaxy is massive. We're talking a one-to-one recreation of the Milky Way, with billions of star systems to explore. And while the learning curve is steep, once it clicks, it's addictive. Whether you're dogfighting pirates, mining asteroids, or just soaking in the beauty of deep space, Elite Dangerous is a one-of-a-kind experience. If you haven't played Titanfall 2 yet, stop what you're doing and fix that. This is one of the best FPS campaigns ever made. And I don't say that lightly. The movement? Smooth as hell. The shooting? Insanely satisfying. And the level design? Chef's... wait, no, you don't like that phrase. Let's just say it's genius. The real standout is Effect and Cause, a mission so good it basically became legendary overnight. The multiplayer is just as strong, with fast-paced parkour, mechs dropping from the sky, and one of the most fluid FPS experiences ever made. The fact that EA buried this game with a bad launch window is criminal, but thankfully it still has a dedicated fan base. If you've ever wanted a co-op game that nails teamwork while still being chaotic as hell, Deep Rock Galactic is exactly that. You and your squad of space dwarves dive into procedurally generated caves, mine for valuable minerals, and then get absolutely swarmed by alien bug monsters that want you dead. The hook here is that every mission feels unique, because the caves are fully destructible, and the game forces you to actually work together. You need a gunner to clear paths, an engineer to set up turrets, a scout to light the way. It's brilliantly balanced, and the best part? It's just fun. Even when everything goes to hell and you barely escape, you'll be laughing the whole time. Rock and stone. If Alan Wake 1 was a love letter to Stephen King, Alan Wake 2 is full-on psychological horror in the best way possible. Remedy went all in, blending survival horror, deep storytelling, and straight-up unsettling visuals that mess with your head. You don't just play as Alan, you also play as FBI agent Saga Anderson, investigating some seriously weird supernatural murders. The game constantly shifts between realities. The combat is more intense than ever. And the story? Yeah, it goes deep into Remedy's connected universe in a way that fans of Control will lose their minds over. It's easily one of the best horror games in recent years. If you like deep, unsettling narratives that actually make you think, Alan Wake 2 is a must-play. This game got slept on hard, and that's a shame, because it absolutely nails the feel of Mad Max. You're roaming around a massive wasteland, scavenging for parts, upgrading your beast of a car, the Magnum Opus, and just blowing up enemy convoys in the most badass way possible. The melee combat has that Arkham-style flow. The car combat is straight up awesome, and the world feels brutal but lived in. It's got flaws. The story isn't super deep. But if you just want to lose yourself in a wasteland full of chaos, destruction, and high-speed car battles, Mad Max is absolutely worth playing.
I'm going to play it my way.
Yakuza Like a Dragon. This is the game where Yakuza went full RPG, and somehow it actually worked. You're no longer playing as Kiryu, instead you're playing Ichiban Kasuga, a guy with way too much heart and not enough self-preservation. Instead of real-time combat, Like a Dragon goes full turn-based JRPG, but with that signature Yakuza absurdity. If you love over-the-top action, hilarious side quests, and RPGs with deep character progression, this game is an absolute blast. Plus, Ichiban is one of the most likable protagonists in gaming ever. Have you played any of these? Got a hidden gem we missed? Drop it in the comments, we'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and check out our next video, the 28 Perfect Games. We'll see you next time.